This is Nanette Patiño, and I am going to be talking about task 14B and addressing my student intervention plan. So, I have 5 students that I will be sharing with. I'm going to be looking down because I took a picture of it. So the first student that I am going to address in this plan for reteach is IP3. And so I've gotten the idea of how I can support this student, um, particularly with the ELP 9 activity, which is the last activity that they worked on. So I plan to be revisiting the task and providing the student with sentences that he can match with the picture that I had previously given to the students. So I will use bigger letters to help him do that. I will do it on a doc and then just cut out for him and just have him take out the sentence that would match the corresponding picture. I will also chunk and limit the time that I'm going to give him the activity. So I've determined that I will do 3 facts or details for both of the questions. So it should be 6 sentences as opposed to much more. And which is what the other kids did. They had an opportunity to choose if they wanted to include all of the pictures that I gave them or some of the pictures. It was their choice. But for him, I'm going to tailor it so that it can just be the 6. I know that he has 4 on one question. So if he wants, he can do another one. But I'm just going to focus on having him match the sentence with the picture that he already has. So I'm going to look at his work and type it out. Then I'm going to work in 15-minute intervals. So while the other students are doing center time, then I'm just going to pull him out for 15 minutes only, be very direct, review the charts and just recap what we were talking about, look at his work, and then help him do the matching. Well, I will read for him the sentence, and then he will tell me what picture represents that sentence. That will be a way for me to assess what he is knowing, and then I can ask him a question, or two about what he learned, just to gauge his recall, and if he adds some other information that I didn't provide for him. Student number 2 is AM8. And so for this student, I will provide 3 30-minute sessions, including videos and content books. And I will provide an exemplar and give one-on-one instructional support with the prompts that are needed and allow the student to ask some clarifying questions. I will use the charts that are already in the class from the work that the student had done previously, because this is the student that did not complete task ELP 9 because of absences. So I will also use the language frames that I've provided also for the class. So this is not new information for her, but I will just be guiding her step by step, and then allowing her the opportunity to do independent work if she's understanding and feels confident to do it, but she would be doing it with me at the table on one to one. And then I will follow up and do a review, like an exit ticket, if you will. Her and I looking at the rubric and looking at what the criteria was, and then coming up with the score together to see if she realizes what she did and what she didn't do just by looking at the text. So that conversation will be rich. That's gonna be fun. Um, and she's capable of doing that with no problem. The next student is AK6, and so what I've done for his reteach is to create a matching game that will have the students interact with the vocabulary from the lesson. And the way I do that is by scaffolding the objectives and having the student fill out the sentences in context with the vocabulary. And so he would be looking at the standards, right? Looking to see what he did in the previous task and what he would do now, right? So that we can see the growth that he demonstrates with some written responses that he would share with me. Student number 4 is SS15. And so for this student, I did a little something different. He, just like the previous AK6 student, can use of support with the sentences, but I tweaked it so that I would use the text, right? And then I would write out the text and have the student read it. So like I would write it out and then I would cut it and then just have him sort of like go on and match it, and then I would highlight the vocabulary words just to give him that visual connection, and then the student would read the sentences to himself and restate or retell me what the sentence is saying, so that he has an opportunity to use his own words, but also is a way for me to assess if he is understanding how to use a vocabulary to share his idea clearly. And then he would be repeating it, so that repetition is important. So the more he repeats, the more he hears himself saying it, the more it would actually stay in his mind, and then be able to share it because he's hearing it more than just 2 or 3 times. And then I would be able to reassess him in that way. And then the last student, which is a student that also had a slight increase, not very significant, in the ELP2 activity, is as follows. So the focus is to build on ideas of others. Okay, and so then what I would do is play a game with him using a buzzer that we all know. And the student has to build the idea, has to build the his own idea or share his idea on something that I previously said. And so then when he does, then he would hit the buzzer and whatnot. Then it would be my turn to go. So that might take a little bit longer. I'll try to speed it up and give him some leeway, a minute, 2 minutes. It just depends. And then if I see that he's going quickly, then I know how to modify what I'm doing. And then my questions will also, or my piece of information might also be scaffolded. So that's gonna just depend on how he responds to me. So first I would do it with some facts and details about a familiar topic that he may know so that he can get a practice of it, get a sense of what we're doing, and then I would go into the actual text, and then ask him, or share with him ideas, facts, details, and then have him give me something that he is building on based upon my information shared. Then we'll also do call a friend or phone a friend, right? So if he needs support, he can ask for a friend to help him build on my idea. And then at the end of that cycle, just as a quick, maybe 15 minutes or so, depending how fluid it is. If I see that he's struggling, then I'm not going to give him 15 minutes. I'll just do it more often so that he's feeling more confident. Obviously, right? That's my teacher move there. And then I will use images so that he can, make that association if he's not sort of understanding what I have to say clearly. The image would help to solidify his idea. I will also give him some language support as well. And then as I wrap up that session, then I will ask him to give me 2 to 3 facts about the ideas that he built on. So basically, another way of him recalling the information that he had previously shared, instead of saying the same thing that I said. So those are the reteaches that I looked at. For AMA, it's obvious that she actually needs to do the assignment, the assessment portion, and for IP3, because of his inadequate growth, basically, across all three, based on his academic needs, his I don't want to say social emotional, but sometimes he's just a little distracted. And so just trying to keep it more succinct what I want for him to do, and then do that's a modification of the assessment. And then for DM11, it's something different than I hadn't done with any of the other students, because he was able to share information with other students, but there were a couple of things that he was restating, something that someone said instead of saying his own idea. So I figured that building on the idea of others is where he can use that reteach opportunity. So I will be working on this. This is the plan. I will be working on this, and then I'm excited to see how everything works out when I do my plan and share with you in the next video.